Chat is brought to you by the Caricom Business Network.
Testing, 1, 2. It's gonna have that issue because we don't have the name of the. Okay. Let's see. Ready? See if it. I must say a pleasant good morning. Wherever you are in the world today, my friends, it's a beautiful day. We're here at the Broward County Stadium in South FLA. This is the USA National Youth Championship under 16. Atlantic Forest Group B going up against Atlantis, Florida. Again, while we continue with some live audio, Florida Atlantis take first strike. They are 3 for 1. They're still in the first over. And they had just lost 1 wicket. Wow, that was a good ball by Carnick. Carnick is the bowler, and Patipakwa is the batter. And this could be the first 4 of the game. That was a good shot plays, square of the wicket. A 2-fielder, a chase, but we're unable to to catch it before it gets into the boundary. So the score moves on to 7 for 1 Atlantis. It's another good ball. This plays forward out, fielded out in the covers by number 6.
Hey, we need another barrel. The barrel broke. Barrel.
The second wicket is down for Atlantis. They are now 7 for 2. And it's coming from some good bowling
Hey, this is snap on.
by Rohin. While they're in the second over, the new batter to the crease. The new batter to the crease is Sanjay. Abhinav is still there. He's on 4. Sanjay yet to face the ball. 7 for 2 after they are in the second over. So while we got a third slip, we got a third slip, you got a deep backward point, cover point, extra cover Mid on, mid off, a square leg and a deep fine leg. Rohin is the bowler from the northern end. So far, Sanjay had faced 2 ball, still not yet off the mark. It's a very good day here at the Broward County Stadium here in South FLA. I must welcome Mr. Ian Thomas.
Good morning, Sir Tucker. It's a pleasure to be here, especially to be watching the youths. The youths showing off their talent here today. It's a very good look. It's a big vision, by Sir Mac Creashi. We have seen where the US Open has taken, his brand. We have seen players coming out, representing, and also making World Cup century. So it's always good to have the youth. So right now we have Atlanta Force, right, in the Group A versus Atlantis, Florida Group B. And guys, if you don't know, this is Lauderhill, Fort Lauderdale. You could Google it and you could make your way down. The good thing about it, Tucker, I understand that if you have a kid who plays cricket, who is in the age group between the under 13 to the under 16, you could bring them here. Actually, they'll fit them in a team.
Yeah, they would. I'm not sure they would enjoy it because when it comes to sports and kids, it's like you don't have to pick a sports for them. They will choose for themselves. And especially on a day like this, with they're looking at the stadium, they've never been to the stadium before. I would urge everyone, if you're in the vicinity, just bring your kid down, and he sure will have a good day.
Definitely, I remember as a kid growing up, you just want to get before, a few people. That's a very good pull shot there from the youngster. Went through the fielder down there on the backward square boundary. 4 runs to him. So
Score.
So scores up to 13 for 2.
Yeah, please just wave the hand to the umpire so it's easier. Thank you.
So if you're at home and you can't make it to the stadium, guys, I'll just encourage you to tune in to Mac TV, and you'll find that on your YouTube channel easily. Just go over there and look for Mac TV, and you'll find this US National Championship going on, live ball-to-ball action, coverage that you see coming to you from no other than Mac Creation himself through
Team
this
bowler
media.
beyond shirt number 12.
So, every youngster out there would definitely love to be a part of this, where you get to showcase your talent. You also get to play against other kids, of your age group, that even make it much better. You get to play with cricketers who are developing just like you. There's so much to learn as a young cricketer, and to have so many players gathered here. This is going to be a tournament over the entire weekend, and we have a few teams here. And as we say, you could also come and be fit into a team. If you just have a cricketer, you probably have trained your son at home, and you want to see how well he has, developed or learned from you. Well, bring him out here. We'll definitely get him in the game. There, the youngster coming forward and showing the full face of the bat, so that definitely being coached by someone who knows much about cricket. And that's a good thing to watch these youngsters here, in this early stage, and see them at least grasping the basic of the cricket. Very important. This one is coming down to the slip coordinate here. Well fielded by the young man wearing the number 11 jersey. And another good thing from him, I could see that long barrier, making sure that ball do not beat him out here. So again, we can see they're bringing what they have been taught into the game itself. That's execution, guys. As young as they are, they're definitely showing us that, guess what, they are ready for this staging. So the bowler is Vihan, who's coming off a decent run up. Very good delivery. Seems like he got an edge. Yes, he did. So another wicket down. 17 for 3. So good bowling here. So we see the Atlantis team, bringing on the pressure already. Getting 3 wickets, only 17 runs on the board. That's a pretty good start for them. All right, good morning again, Mr. Tucker. So with this youth tournament here, the USA National Championship, I know your son, which is the junior, have played in similar tournament coming through, and we have seen his development over the years. I just want to ask you personally, as a father, and also a father who has a kid who loves this game called cricket, could you tell us, what does this mean for a youngster, especially here in South Florida?
It means a lot, because for one, I know it's discipline wise, it's like this is the road of getting to the professional level, and I could already see that they're they got some good coaching so far, because especially in the fielding, you could see they're doing the basic, and doing the basic is very important, because if you don't do the basic, then later on you're going to find that you're making all this mistake that you should have learned when you were young. So I think it's a good road for their following, and sooner or later these are the same guys you'll be see playing for US.
Definitely, I think it's a very good program. I also would commend Mr. Mac Creation, US Cricket Council USA, and the vision behind this. You know, the Mac team, as you know, you could find this game on Mac TV, but just the vision is what really touched me, and the fact that I've seen youth coming through the program that he has already going, the US Open. We have seen youngsters as Steven Taylor, who went on to play for the USA. We have seen Ali Khan playing here straight for the USA. We have even seen outsiders, because the program that he has is invite outsiders. So we have seen where we have Yuvraj Singh, youngster from Canada, making 100 in the World Cup, came right here playing the US Open. So, you know, to have these youngsters under 13 through to under 16 coming out here and showcasing their talent in front of this, you know, stage in here. They're playing on a World Cup field, quality field, inside of a stadium that would have hosted World Cup game, international game. You know, some of their very own role models would have basically passed and graced this ground.
It's the baller named Rohan, shirt number 8. He's just changing side. Baller named Rohan, shirt number 8. Got it.
So, you know, it's a good look for cricket. It's a good look for Cricket USA, you know, and these youngsters definitely showing us that they are grasping the game, you know, because as you mentioned before, in the field, we have seen the long barriers, we have seen them getting behind the ball, you know, we have seen them chasing the ball, so we can see the discipline, you know. At the wicket, we see some correct technique, you know, even though, you know, it's 23 for 3, but despite the low score so far and 3 wickets down, we have seen that these cricketers, they basically know the basic of the game. You know, look at the bat, how they hold their bat, you know, the bat lift. Everything is looking good. I'm looking at the bowler and he's coming in, you know, with that approach and the high arms, you know, looking, you know, straight ahead. You know, they're looking pretty good at this age here.
And sometimes, you know, these kids, I really do hope they're appreciating what is happening there, because you know, sometimes if you go back into in our days, we didn't get this kind of coaching, and also to get to play at this level when we were young. So really say kudos to them, and I hope they really settle in and think about it and make use of it, because this is something that they could later on in life they could remember and said, yes, I remember when I was 13, 14, 15 up to 16 playing in the stadium, and here I am now playing professional cricket, come back to the same stadium that I played in my youth days.
And you're not wrong there, Tucker. You know, a few years from now, you know, who to tell, even next year, you may see one of these very youngsters here representing the USA at the highest level. You know, look at Yuvraj that is playing for Canada. He's just 19 years old. He's still a youngster. He's still a teen. You know, he's in the World Cup. He made 100. He played on this very field here. So, you know, some of these names, we're going to see them coming through later on. You know, whether for the USA or, you know, any other division or IPL, CPL, you're going to hear some of these very names, and they're going to remember, you know, playing here in their first appearance in terms of before the cameras, you know, in a national stadium, world-class stadium. You know, they're going to remember this very day.
Well, the score is now 23-4-3. Florida Atlantis. they're in the fifth over, and I'm noticing, Ian, that these youngsters, I mean, they're really, you can see where you can see that later on, especially that boulder that is coming from, which is Rohim. Um, he's looking good. He's running in good, and he seems like he's really enjoying his bowling.
But I can tell you, all of these kids are enjoying it. I was watching earlier when they take the field, went out with the production team, they went out with the organizers, and they were in the middle there. And I watched them when they were walking back. Every one of them had a smile on their face. It's like they were looking forward for this day. And that is even something to make note of. They're happy to be here. And I know each and every one of them want to bring their best game. And guess what? They're going to have the opportunity to do it right here, because it's going to be going on over the weekend. This will not be just a one-time situation. This will be, a program, because I've just spoke with Mr. Mohammed Makriyeshi out there earlier, and he's telling us that this is the beginning of a new era, for these youngsters, meaning that he's going to take this to another level. He's going to be putting a lot into the youngsters. So definitely there's a big opportunity here for these youngsters, a great future ahead of them in terms of cricket. And we already see where they're making their mark. So 24 for 3 is the score. And as I say, you can always watch it on Mac TV, live coverage of it. And again, guys, if you have a kid out there, your son, you've been training at home in the nets or so, guess what? You could bring them down. We could fit them in a team, so you get to see them showcase their skill right out here. You don't have to be a member of any of these teams, but what happened, the organizers have decided that, guess what? Once you love the game of cricket and once you're willing to play, there's a game here for you. So that is also a very important one. So, I just echo that across. If you have a child out there and they're loving the game of cricket and you want to see them showcase their talent, bring them on over. Come and speak to the organization team. I know Mr. Mohammed Qureshi would be happy to have you, visit the stadium here and definitely have a word with him. So the score is 25 for 3, been a little quiet, but guess what? It's all about the kids today, guys. And we already see that they are showing us that they're mastering what they've been taught. Another thing I really admire, and from this first game here, I have seen a female out there. So guess what? No matter the gender, guys, you are a part of this. And that's where cricket is now. You have a female team, you have the male team. But right now you have both male and female on the field. So no separation here. It's kids. Let them come on out and enjoy themselves. Let them come on out and play with their peers. Let them come on out and have fun. It's all about the fun and at the same time harnessing the talent. These very kids that we see here, you're going to see them later in the future. These will be the name that we'll be, seeing in the record books sooner than later. So guess what? Come on and support your child. Come and support your team. And as I said, if you cannot be here, just watch it on Mac TV.
Baller name Socket, shirt number 13. Socket. Got it.
Guys, so all the lovers of cricket out there, guess what? We have cricket and we have it at the youth staging, the USA National Championship under 13 through to under 16. So this is where you'll have the youngsters showcasing their talent. What a beautiful shot there. Clip it just off the leg stump and driving out to backward square. So it's cricket, lovely cricket, guys. 28 for 3 as we here at the US National Youth Championship. We're gonna have both under 16, under 13. So youths will be showing us their talents here. They'll be showing what they have learned so far. They'll be showing up their coaches, and guess what? Their role model. They're gonna be expressing themselves. We have already seen some beautiful shots so far, just like that one. Played through third man here there and running close over into the boundary. 4 runs. So we have seen where these youngsters is definitely showing us that they are ready and they have definitely grasped basic of the cricket. We have seen them, in terms of just walking out there. I've looked at the bat lift. Each of these players, they have a very good bat lift. The approach is looking very positive. The bowlers, the run up is very important, and we have seen Rohin, displaying great pace there and looking quite steady in his run up, showing us that he's ready. In terms of the batsmen, we have seen them coming forward, coming on the front foot. They're not afraid to come on the front foot. And when the delivery is short, we see them getting on the back foot and also pulling, So it's showing us that they are ready. And I've seen where they're playing through the V, meaning playing where the ball is coming from. Well fielded. And also out in the field, we have seen these youngsters displaying some great feeling, whereas they're executing. We see the long barrier down on the field. We see them getting behind the ball, meaning not giving it any room to pass. We see them chasing full energy straight to the boundary. We see them diving. We see them walking in with the bowler. And all those are principles of the game.
A new bowler named Raghav.
And if they can master all the basics from this stage, then definitely later on in life, we will be looking at a great cricketer that may hit the history books. But this is where it all started, at the youth staging. So this is a very good look for the USA in terms of, getting these youngsters involved at this tender age. And not that you just get them involved, but you have a tournament for them. You have a tournament for them to express themselves, showcase what they have learned. Players gathered here and not come on out and play with their peers. As I said earlier this morning, I look at them as they gathered in the middle there, and everyone had a smile on their face. And why would you not? One is in the air, can the bowler take it? Yes, it's a bowl and caught, so it's another wicket down. 31 for 3. 31 for 4 now, yeah, that's it. So it's Florida Atlantis up against Atlanta Ace. So you can tell these youngsters are definitely enjoying themselves. It's a beautiful day here at the Broward Regional Stadium. State of the art, World Cup standard, international standard. Have we seen many games here? And here they are before the cameras, being able to express themselves, showcase their talent. And at the end of the day, they're playing to win the championship. So 31 for 4 is the score. Florida Atlantis batted. To win the championship. To win the championship. To win the championship. I say the takeaway from this tournament is definitely gonna be the discipline to win the championship. And how much I say the takeaway from this tournament is definitely gonna be the execution to win the championship. And how much to the game. What the takeaway from this tournament is definitely gonna be this is where execution to win the championship. How effective and how much have to the game. The takeaway from this tournament they need to work on gonna be this is where that box over there. How effective and how much have that will be analyzed. The takeaway from this tournament they need to work on gonna be this is where that box over there. Have a phase of how much they have that will be analyzed. The takeaway from this tournament they need to work on gonna be this is where that box over there. Pass it through. Have a phase of how much they have that will be analyzed. The takeaway from this tournament there's a lot to work on. You guys that want to get back to your through. You have a child over there who will love the game. There's a lot to work on the hill. You guys that want to get back to your through. You have a child over there. Not that they just see the game. There's a lot to work on the hill. Their age was they would also find themselves in the game. See what the organizers have done. They have allowed each team to accept a player from outside, basically. So simple mean if you have your child and you've been doing your coaching at home and you never given that child a chance to play among other cricketers, in terms of real game. Well, guess what? Bring them out. They will be involved in this tournament, and that's one of the thing I love about the tournament. So basically you may not have a team to represent, but if you come on down here over this weekend, you may just find yourself be a part of one of these teams.
You know, Ian, while I'm a little busy behind the scene here, there's something that I was just thinking about is to see you here in South Florida, to see you here in South Florida at this time when they got the youth semi-final is going on in Jamaica, and I know it's like you're very big in that one way or the other, especially your favorite team, or I wouldn't even say your favorite team, your team, Stets, is in the playoff in Jamaica.
Well,
And to see you here at this time.
well, just to let the world know, St. Elizabeth Technical High School is one of the best cricketing school in the island of Jamaica. No doubt about it. They have won the prize in terms of the George Headley Cup, so they call it the Headley Cup cricket competition, named after the famous cricketer George Headley. You know, they have won that trophy so many times that they have won it more than all the schools combined that have played in the tournament. That's St. Elizabeth Technical High School. I'm happy to have been a part of it. You know, the motto, work on integrity. So they, over the years, have also featured some of the best coaches. And I'll go back to my coach from my days, Junior Bennett, Dr. Bennett himself, who is also the director of the West Indies. You know, that was the chemistry there at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. You know, then we have seen the baton had been passed on to Lazarus. You know, we call him Laza. You know, he also did well. I think many winning streak also, and now we have seen it passed on to young Carl Wright. And even to talk about a tournament here like this and being here, you know, Carl Wright would have played on this very field here also. So he's now the current coach of the St. Elizabeth Technical High School, and we're in the finals. They have won the semi-finals, so we find ourselves another time in the finals, which is nothing new for us. And we'll be going up against Manchester High again. So it's the repeat of last year, I think.
But you know, one other thing about this also is, as you mentioned, Carl Wright. I saw they was doing an interview, but because it was a short, it wasn't that clear, and I keep saying that looked like Carl Wright. And if it is Carl Wright, because they did not mention his name also, I think it was cut off before they start the audio. But Carl Wright you couldn't find a better person to give this coaching job to for Stets. And there goes another wicket. Yes, there goes another wicket. I'll come back with the conversation. There goes another wicket, so it's now 5 wickets down, 34 for 5. So, I guess you could remember these days, Ian, when you were bowling and it was 5 wicket down for a little bit of runs, eh?
Well, I know, as you talk about this, I probably will talk about my best game at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. And that is, as a youngster, going into States, I was about 14 years old, and playing against Monroe. My brother, the captain of that Monroe under 16 team, and we have under 16 match here. So we already had a talk and rivalry leading up to that game from home.
So okay, both of you stays at home, right? Sleep in the same room, or in the same house.
I want to show up my dad now. My dad was one of those father who fathered more than one home, child. So
hello.
I guess you're busy.
Yeah,
All right, we're on the road.
okay, I call you.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So to get back, my father, he had 3 sons all in 1 year. Guys, if you're out there, don't do this. So what happened?
Did you follow your dad?
No,
okay, you don't have to answer that. You
sir,
don't have to
no,
answer
sir. I'm the disciplined one. So with that said, my brother, we were living in the same community across from each other. We played ball, back then we were playing ball in the streets. We played ball in the track. Anywhere you find a place that you could put up 3 stump and what end, we didn't even have to have 6. It's only one end we can play from. We were playing cricket. So with that, at this tender age, under 16, the rivalry was from home in the community.
Yeah.
So he was telling me what he was gonna do to me because he's a great batsman. And he bowls also. And he said, man, when he's finished with me on that particular day. So I remember that game. I was hyped myself. So it was, and you're looking at it, 34 for 5. I actually destroyed his team. I took about 6 wickets for about 5 runs. And, the worst part about it, I got him LBW for ducks. And I tell you, he was mad because he felt the umpire had done him wrong. So Monroe, we bottled Monroe out for a little, just a few runs on the board. And, that's nothing strange when you talk about St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Many schools would have find it hard to make 50 runs against St. Elizabeth Technical High School. And I just call a few names that I went to school with back then. You're talking about Carl Wright was our captain. You're talking about Darren Powell. Darren Powell, I was a pace bowler. He couldn't even hold the ball then. That's the type of pace prong that St.
You're
Elizabeth
talking
Technical
about Darren Powell that went on to play for West Indies.
For the West Indies. So at that time, he was not a pace bowler. He was a spinner. And it's that particular team that we have. Talk about like Kieran Baker. He played even for the West Indies in that game. Got rained out in Jamaica, but played for Jamaica also. Sheldon. So we had a good chemistry at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. But when I got in at about 14 years old playing for Headley Cup. And that's the difference with St. Elizabeth School versus any other school. So I'm going to spill a little secret about Stets. Stets is a team that would have at least 6 youngsters about this age that we see before us playing in that senior team.
So while we're in the middle of this, we'll get back to that. The score is 34 for 5. They're in the 10th over. 34 for 5. They're in the 10th. Now it's 35 for 5. They're in the 10th over. Yes, sir. Continue.
Yes, so the important thing about it at that time was that Jonah Bennett, who is our coach, he always ensured that we have at least 6 youngsters in the senior team, that is a Headley Cup team. So if you say you're on your last year, second to last year, you're a senior player, your game is not sure. The sure game is those 6 youngsters.
Yeah.
So, that is where you see he was developing the youths, So that's the formula for Stets. And over the years, we have actually won the Headley Cup, as I said, more than all the school combined. Because there's always at least 6 senior players. Because that 6 new players will always continue. And, that have definitely bring Stets to the forefront of cricket. And right now, for me, being here and watching this particular game, it brings back all those memories, to just be out there as a youngster. You're full of energy, running in is like you never get tired.
Yeah.
It's like I could bowl all day. And it was just fun. And I see these youngsters here today, and I just remember those days. But it's just a smile. You look at them, it's a wide grin just to be out here and to be able to showcase their talent. So, this is a very good look for cricket, especially in the USA here. So, congratulations to States. Congratulations to Manchester High for making the Headley Cup final. I felt bad for Taki. Taki,
yes,
it was rained out.
I heard that, and they were doing good.
Taki has done amazing, and they have played great cricket. And one of our friends, his son there. Oh boy.
Yeah, we got a player from playing for Port St. Lucie now. Just came from Taki a couple of years ago. Yeah, I think he was a captain Taki. And,
Yeah, Taki.
So
have some good players, and to see the rain out, and I'm a little saddened by that result against Manchester. I think they were 59 for 1, chasing
over 200.
Yeah, a little over 200.
Carlton Brown. Me and Carlton Brown were talking about it, and he mentioned that and he didn't know that they had changed the amount of days, because usually it usually be 3 days. Now they changed it to 2. So it's like the first inning. It's always good
To win the
for
first.
the team that bat first. It's always better for them because most of the time what they're gonna try to do is bat as long as possible and try to make as much runs. Because if the second team started,
36 for 5, guys, if you're just watching this one here.
you have to answer for this. Yeah, Paul. Yes, on 3. Yeah. You could bring it out a little, you know. Yeah, okay, that's it. Now I can see the umpire at least. Yeah. Okay. All right. He's over on the far side.
So 38 for 5, 42 for 5. It's Atlantis, Florida Atlantis versus Atlanta Ace. So 42 for 5, and as I tell you guys, it's the youth championship here. So the USA national championship for youth aging 13 to 16. So you have the under 13 and you have the under 16. It's all brought to you from Mr. Mac Creashi. Watch it on Mac TV. Bring your kids down here to the Broward Stadium. You know, they have a chance to play. You know, even if they don't have a team, we'll find a team for them. Bring them on over. If you just love the game of cricket, come on out. It's beautiful sunshine. You know, we're inviting you over, especially to come and support the youngsters. This is where it's all started, guys. And as Tucker was mentioning, you know, Headley Cup, as we go back to Jamaica, that is, you know, is a prevalent tournament there, the Headley Cup for schoolboys. You know, George Headley, it was named after, and it had continued and it had produced a lot of West Indian players. And we were talking about the Headley Cup and Stets, and then we went on to talk about Taki and how unfortunate Taki was, you know, just that it was rained out. But what I understand, for the quarterfinal, they had set aside an extra day, you know, for a match to be played out. In the semi-final, there was not such.
Yeah.
So that would have definitely bring a little sour taste to many.
Very
Because
much.
if you
very
wanted
much.
to see the talent, then I'll say let them play.
And I understand that Taki had quite a few of those kind of players that was doing very good.
They have national players, national meaning representing Jamaica, and you know it was heart rendering for them not to have a result in that game. But then Manchester would have gone in, I think, probably based on, you know, their earlier games, you know, probably winning most of their games and having more points or what. I'm not sure
Caller
about
name
that.
Neha, shirt number 6. Caller name Neha, shirt number 6.
So
Got it.
at the end of the 11th over, the score is 46 for 5. And to go back to that conversation, you know, one of the things that I looked at while a lot of people could understand all about this, when a team is from the country, and I really would say I'm happy for Stets because they represent the country. Because the team that used to be in the city, as they would say in Kingston, they most of the time always come out on top with the both cricket and soccer. There's the cricket teams and soccer. But here it is that Stets representing the country, and Stets always beat these teams from the city.
Well, I don't want to go down that road, you know, Tucker. Because
Well,
what happened in the city, they have another tournament over there, the Sunlight Cup. So they have the Headley Cup, they have the Sunlight Cup. And what happened when the winner of each faces each other? That's the game of the game. Because country versus town, and that's a big rivalry
Yeah.
in those games. A lot of the time, country may beat town, town beat country, but it's just that rivalry that continues for years across Jamaica, and that's what schoolboy cricket is about. Having the energy, the rivalry, and bring it to the forefront.
I don't know if you know anything about it, but does any of the other islands have these kind of like schoolboy cricket, or even like how we got champs now? Is like, does any of the islands around the Caribbean play schoolboy cricket like the way we played in Jamaica?
Well, I think Trinidad and Tobago have a very good program there.
Not just a youth program, but we're talking about a schoolboy.
Yeah, Trinidad, I know have a schoolboy program, because I remember one year that we finished, we won the championship and we were supposed to, take part in like a Caribbean tournament.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't go well. I got my passport and everything together, But yeah, Trinidad have a very good program, and that's why I think they do so well in terms of the cricket and representing the West Indies. You realize there's so much youngsters always coming through. We have seen lately the Bravos, but this is something the Brian Lara. So it's that schoolboy program, and then you have the youth tournament where you have Trinidad, Barbados, Guyana. So I think that's where they draw these from. So they may have a program, but probably not as prevalent as how you hear about the Headley Cup, because probably it's named after the famous George Headley.
Yeah.
So probably that's what bring that to light more than any other. But I am certain that these Caribbean countries would have their schoolboy program. So guys, back to the game at hand here. 48 for 5. It's Florida Atlantis versus Atlanta Ace. So we are here to see these youngsters bring forth their talent to the field, and we have seen it so far in every area or every aspect of the game. From the bowlers, we have seen the discipline already. From the batsmen, we have seen it, and this time we seen like we have a female who is running in. Not sure, but that's a beautiful run up here. This one is hit backward of square, going close to the boundary. They should turn for the second. They hesitate. Let's see what will happen here. Keep a catch, throw at the wicket, but misses. So 50 for 5. Florida Atlantis batting. Atlanta Ace bowling quite well. I've gotten 5 wickets, and we see where these two is trying to repair the damage. But back to this tournament here, the USA National Championship for both under 13 and under 16 youngsters. I believe this is a very good look for cricket in the USA. Meaning this is a program that could produce some of the best future cricketers. They are being able to showcase their talent here on such a platform, a field. This is world-class field. World Cup cricket play here. International cricket play here. If you look around, it's a grand stadium that they're playing in front of. May not have the crowd right now, but just the fact that they're here, it's a story for them. And the people behind it, I'm just saying, kudos to Mark Creasy, Cricket Council USA, and the vision that they had for cricket. We have seen the success of the US Open. We have seen the youngsters that have come through that program. Just in recent concluded World Cup, we have seen Yuvraj Singh from Canada, but played right here in this US Open, went on to make 100 in the World Cup. That is big. We have seen Ali Khan. We have seen Stephen Taylor. We have seen so many other youngsters coming through here, and it's just a good look, and we have to commend the organizers for such a vision. You know, we know cricket is probably one of the most expensive sports, and to stand behind it and stand behind it at the youth level, you know, that's something great about the Cricket Council USA, the MAC Cricket Group, and the man himself, Mr. Qureshi, the man behind the vision. You know, it takes somebody with a vision to really bring this to the field. You know, you could talk cricket as much as you want. But as I said, it's not until you get the players out here. And to see the quality of this senior level, you have to go to the basic. Player who remembers the basic of the game always do well. And here we have these youngsters showing us that they grasp the basic of the game. We see them in the field, the way they move, the way they approach the ball, you know, the way they chase, you know, the long barriers, getting their body behind the ball, the pick up, the throw, you know. Then we look at the bowlers. Look at this one, easy catch here. So one more wicket down for Florida Atlantis. It's 51 for 6. So good bowling here, steady bowling, consistency again, guys, by these bowlers. We can see that the bowling team, they maintain consistency, and that is very important. Discipline, another important thing in cricket. So we have to give it up also to the coaches that's working with these youngsters. As you look at that one, easy catch. You know, they have the basic, the approach is right, the technique correct, and even that, having that as a takeaway, it's gonna mean a lot for these kids going forward in the future. Just being here playing with their peers, you know, that alone bring another level of joy to them. And I will always go back to this morning when I saw them gather right around the wicket opening, or the start of the game, where they were out there with the visionaries. And just to watch them as they walk off the field, everyone was smiling. As I said, a loud grin. They're happy to be here. And over this weekend, we expect to see these rising stars. They'll be the cricketer of the future. They will be the one that is gonna be gracing our television set a few years from now. So probably we're gonna start taking note of these names, you know. But it's a beautiful look for cricket, a beautiful look for cricket in the USA. It's a good program, and again, I really have to commend everyone who's behind it.
So while the score reached 53 for 6 after 13 overs, this is a 20 over affair. As we always say, score on the board is score on the board. and you could be thinking that you you would be expecting that the team would make at least 80, 90 on 100. But we'll see, because there's still 7 more overs to go. And with 53 runs, it's possible they still could reach that 3 figures. What do you think? What's your prediction on the first inning score?
First of all, I want to go into analyzing this. If you look out there, these kids are actually using the full field. So 53 runs could be like 200 plus, because they are utilizing the adult field. If you look at it, the ropes are almost all the way out.
Wow, that's some good feeling there.
Yeah, we have seen it. The feeling they're displaying shows that they have been coached quite well. So the ropes, if you see the distance out, the ropes are really fully stretched out for these kids. So 60 runs could be a 120.
Yeah.
You know, it is hard for a youngster to clear this field. So they're gonna be running singles, so 1s and 2s, you know, sprinkle of boundary, as you say. So right now we can see that they probably don't have enough runs.
Yeah, we can say that, but again, wait to see the second half and see how they respond to the score that is placed on the board. They got a projected score of 82. I think they will make more than 82, but again, we'll wait and see. At the moment, is 55 for 6. They are in the 14th over, and this is a 20 over affair. I must also remind you that there's a game coming up after this. There's quite a few more games for the rest of the day, so lots of cricket we'll be playing. Not just today, but tomorrow and Sunday.
It's gonna be a full weekend of cricket down here, and guess what? Youth cricket. I think every father out there that shows interest in cricket should be here. Even if you don't have a child, just come on down and show some love and some support for these kids. You know, they're doing an awesome job so far. This is the first game, and we can already pinpoint a lot of things that they're doing well.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see 007. This gentleman that you always see in the CPL in Antigua. He's the one that wears that helmet with a lot of flags. I expect to see him down here today. His son is up in, I think he's up in Daytona, and he would go all the way to Daytona to bring his son down here to play. And he said he doesn't feel bad about it, because his son enjoy going out there on the field to play some cricket, because there's not that much cricket up in Daytona.
Well, Tucker, you know we live our life for our kids. That much I could say.
Yeah.
All the parents, you know, when we're young, we are doing things for ourselves. We go through, we buy clothes, we do this, we do everything for ourselves. At the moment we have a child, all that change.
Yeah, definitely.
We're looking in the store, we're looking for baby things. We're looking, if you have a boy, buy things, toys, shoes, whatever. You forget about yourself. And especially if you're a cricketer, you always want to have your son to follow in your footstep. So you go all out for them. You get them their little bat, their little ball. You know, a few stump here, you drive it up and you start bowling to them. You want to see them excel. So I understand his feeling, you know, taking his kid from all the way up there to get him here to play the game. I know, to watch him. You know, I know he would have been teaching a lot of the cricket skills, and to have him play in this tournament, definitely he'll watch him execute. So that's what fathers do. You have your son there in a young junior, Elton Junior, you know. We know you follow him all the way through.
It's a good feeling to sit out here and look at your son out there playing, and know that a lot of that skill that he's exercising out there. It's like you help to let him wherever he reach, you help him there. And it's like you just sit there and just smile within yourself. Just look at him and said, wow, I really appreciated what I've done so far, and I'm gonna continue to help you to excel.
Yeah, that's a fun thing about parenthood, is guiding them. And when you definitely see them play like shot like that, how can you not be like overjoyed, overwhelmed when you see your son come and play a shot like that, straight down the ground, 4 runs, don't need to move or anything. That's full execution. That's
we usually say shot like that. We usually say that's a big man shot. It's like, he played that shot with so much power. You would think that it's a 25-year-old kid out there. That was a good shot, and he hit it with authority. He didn't move. They said, stand and deliver. And that's why I said this projected score that they have. Wow. Did I talk too early?
No, you didn't talk too early. Guess what? Another dad is smiling. That's my boy. That's that girl who just got a wicket. So that's just about cricket, guys. It's not over until it's over, and that's how it is. So from a beautiful hit down the ground for 4, there goes that beautiful delivery and wicket back, and he's back in the pavilion. But that's a game of cricket. So,
Ian, you have just said something that a lot of people don't really think about it like that. When you said another daddy is smiling, and it's like when one team goes out, and like that guy went out there, he hit a 4, boom, he got out. It's like the daddy for that youngster is saying, wow, why couldn't you just play that one and at least just stop it, and instead of getting out. But then the other daddy on the other side is saying, very good ball.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing about it, the fun thing about life, But we just have to enjoy every moment, and that's what these kids show us. They enjoy every moment of it, because I know that same kid coming back tomorrow, you ain't gonna hold me that way.
That's right.
And it's just fun to watch them out there, just enjoying the game they love. And as I said, the future will tell. You're gonna see a lot of these kids before a television screen. You're gonna see their name in the history books. They're gonna rewrite some of the history that is out there already. Records were made, but they are also made to be broken.
Yeah.
So, who to tell?
It's so funny that these kids are out there, and and these are the things that let kids excel by competing against each other. They're out there, and it's like they're talking to each other. They're talking against each other. They're saying that just like normal kids, when you come out there, I'm gonna bowl you down. And he's saying, yeah, I'm going to hit your ball so hard. So they compete against each other. So the score at the moment is now 61 for 7. They just started the 15th over. This is a 20-over affair. And so again, it's 61 for 7. And this is Florida Atlantis going up against Atlanta Ace.
A while ago, Tucker, I don't know if you were watching, but the fielder, he just impressed me. He ran in with that burst of energy. He picked up and he stayed low, and he fired in a very good throw. And that's what we're looking for at this stage, the basic. And that was excellent feeling by him. Didn't execute a run out, but picked up perfect, only a single. He didn't misfield. He ran in kept his eyes on the ball, picked up cleanly, and he executed a very good throw.
See, and now when they, like, after the game, they'll be sitting there talking and said, boy, I love this field. I could dive, I could do whatever I want to do. And that's the good thing about it. And their fielding is immaculate.
Definitely, as I tell you, I'm impressed already with the fielding. They're fielding quite well. As I said, as a kid at this age, and to be playing on a world-class field, man, that's dreaming, living the dream.
Yeah, you can tell they get some coaching because they're doing the basic.
Yeah, they're bringing it to the field, so we have to give it up to the coaches also. Wherever you guys are, thumbs up. You guys have been putting in the work. Well, now we see the execution here on the field.
And you know, I heard a lot of talking about the West Indies women, and one of the talking is they are not doing the basic, and one of the talk is the coach told their players to swing from the hip. But while swinging from the hip, you also got to know the basic. You just don't swing from the hip without knowing how to play straight. Okay, a good ball come, you're gonna at least stop it. You got to know how to stop it. You got to know these little things. You got to know before you start to swing from the hip.
Earlier, Tucker, I've told you that cricketer that basically stick to the basic is always going to be one of the best cricketer. I'm not saying that you can invent a particular stroke, and we have seen some stroke now, some scoop bowling and scooping over the keeper head, all this, the reverse sweep, all those stuff. But to do all of that, you better have the basic.
Yeah.
Because the basic is still keeping your eyes on the ball, playing with a straight bat. Neha. I really love the run-up of Neha. Watching the run-up, I think it is perfect. Beautiful run-up. High beautiful delivery. You know, where she end up after delivering it shows that, guess what, somebody's doing some work behind the scene. So good bowling here from Neha. So it's 64 for 7. We're in over number 16. Beautiful stroke, well fielded there at point. Good discipline from Neha. Inviting the batsman to drive. Florida Atlantis, 64 for 7. They would have really been looking for at least 100 in their 20 over. A bit out at this time, just about 3.3 overs to go. Disciplined bowling again from Nia, keeping that delivery just before the batsman and keeping it on the wicket. No room for the big swing. You gotta be cautious and mindful that his delivery is on the wicket. here. So again, it's cricket, lovely cricket down here at the Broad Regional Stadium in Lauderhill. Fort Lauderdale, guys, come on down and enjoy watching the youths. That's a nice flick here, going out to square leg. They should get an easy single, which they do. That will take the score up to 66 for 7. And we're in the 16th over, and that is being bowled by Niha, who has done a good job so far. Short delivery, that one is played down to the cover area, no run. Four overs to go. Sir Tucker 66 for 7. I know you earlier were talking about prediction. 4 overs, how much runs you expect them to get at least? They keep the wickets.
Still have a projected score of 82, which with 7 wickets down, it's looking more like that projected score going to remain just about that or less.
Socket, I believe he bowled 1 over earlier. 2 actually. Socket, shirt number 13. He bowled 2 overs earlier. Got it, thank you.
What a beautiful shot here. No need to run for that one. The ball will definitely run into the boundary, but the player just come down and knock bat with the batsman at the other end. It's a beautiful shot. 4 more runs to the total. That bring them up to 70 runs.
You see, Ian, this is what happens when you don't know the players and you don't know the team per se, because with some of the wickets that went down, it's like you would think that usually the lesser player always comes like 7, 8, 9, 10. But some of these players look like they should be batting earlier.
Well, I know as the tournament continues on, and each team will be able to, recognize each player, their gift, the talent, and by we get to the semi-finals and the finals, I would bet you they're gonna have a better lineup. But as we say earlier, they're gonna be kids who have never played with a team before, but they will be given the opportunity to come and join one of these teams. So that definitely that would affect a lineup. But a beautiful shot again, and this one will go down to 4 runs. This one was played over cover. Chase would have been given up quite early. Beautiful shot, and that would take the score to 75 for 7. So as you mentioned, this gentleman here looks as he is a number 3 batsman.
Yeah, it looks much better than some of the players that came in before. He's showing his class, and that's what you do whenever you get the chance. It's like you get that chance and you decide, okay, you know what, I'm gonna grab this.
Grab it with 2 hands, just like how he has a perfect bat lift there. Look at it. And walk looking across, shot in his off stump. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, have a good idea of what's going on.
So is he wearing the
That's,
number 8 jersey or
Number
9?
8, Navid.
So I think in the next game he probably find himself batting much earlier up in the order.
Well, so far, Navid is on 10.
Two beautiful stroke for 4.
Akshaz is on 3, 75 for 7. They're in the 17th over. Here it is again. He just tuck it off his hip. Wow. That one came in real fast past the keeper.
It was fired in. Luckily, the youngster square leg was all behind it. Good pickup.
While the score moves to 76 for 7. Florida Atlantis. They're going up against Atlanta Ace. And they're in the 17th over. That's another good shot. But there's a fielder there on the fine leg boundary. So it will be just a single. At the end of the over, the score is 77. It's all sevens. 77 for 7. And it's the 17th over.
So it seems like they may just get to at least 90 runs here probably. They could make good of these last 3 overs.
Raghav.
Definitely, when it comes on to pronunciation of the names of some of the cricketers, now it presents a challenge when you're not accustomed to these names, so don't curse me if I get this one wrong, but it's Raghav, so it's a Raghav. I'm just hope I'm not making a mess of the name. But that's a new board here. He's wearing the number 2 jersey. Passing the ball from hand to hand. Batsman gets ready. I know he's pretty much aware of the score and what you have to do if you gotta get anywhere close to 100. 3 overs to go. Well played, well fielded.
I could see Raghav is turning the ball. He's getting some grip on that ball.
I could tell you that young man, he could be a number 3 batsman because he is back driving. He's a back driving out of your chest. He's cutting out of his chest and he's playing correct down the ground. So seems to have all the shots. At his tender age, he just continue to execute and he could be one for the future. Quick run here, good single. That brings the score up to 79 for 7. again. 81 for 7.
Caller name Vihan. Vihan.
What a beautiful shot here. Though it was picked up here on the boundary, that's good execution. So the score is 83 for 7. .3 overs been bowled. New batsman seems to be Ethan. It's a big, strong young man coming in. See if he can get a hold of a few balls. That one is short delivery. Basically box it down. Good thinking from the bowler here. New batsman, let's check you. Are you ready for this? And he's bold. Beautiful delivery here from Vihan. One was pitched right up. And a swing and a miss. One more wicket down. So it's gonna be 83 for 9. So Florida Atlantis game coming to an end one way or the other. 9 wickets down, another wicket to go, or it's just over and the game will be closed in terms of their batting. 20 over a fear here. They're 83 for 9 and 1 over to go. Beautiful bowling there from behind. Definitely these youngsters are enjoying themselves here in South Florida, the Broward Regional Stadium here. Show for LBW. That hitting a little high up.
Team bowler Raghav. Got it.
Raghav bowling the final over of this inning. 83 for 9 is the score. That single they go up to 84. 4 deliveries to go. Yes, it is. So that's a close of the innings for the Florida Atlantis. They close out at 84 all out in 19.3 overs. 3 deliveries shy of the 20. So first game is on the way here. That's a good bowling from the Atlanta Ace, managing to contain the Florida Atlantis for under 100 runs. I think they would believe they have a good chance of taking this first game here. But runs on the board is runs on the board. So work to be done. But I'm really proud of these youngsters here in terms of the talent, the skill that they have displayed thus far. You definitely can tell they've been coached quite well, and they're bringing it on the field of play. We see them executing. We see they delivering. And
do you want to own prime real estate in Guyana? Welcome to Mahaika Meadows Real Estate Launch in New York and Orlando with limited seats. Register online at mahaikameadows.com and take advantage of incentive pricing. October 25th in New York City and November 8th in Orlando, Florida. Mahaika Meadows, gated and non-gated homes in Guyana. Space is very limited, so register at mahaikameadows.com or call 289-684-2811. For one day only, receive special discounted prices. Register online.
Mahaica Meadows, elevate your lifestyle.
This will go a far way in terms of the development of cricket here in the USA, the youth program. You know, I know these kids definitely appreciated the fact that they could come out here and play on a world-class field. In front of the cameras, they're able to showcase their talent to the world at this tender age. I tell you, it's a good feeling. I've seen them this morning when they went out for the opening. You know, everybody was walking off with a big smile, a big grin, and that tells something. So thank you guys, and I'll be back later on in the.
Okay, so it's on 3. Okay, it's on 1. So 1 gonna stay, so we can. So 3 is the one down there. So 3 need to switch over to. That's not. I took out one because I was wondering why it cut off. Okay, so let me see now. 1 is okay. 2. Okay, is the other stumps. 2 is okay, so 2 is this. 1 is 1. 1 and 2 should be these. 1 is looking, yeah, 1 is looking straight down. Okay, and 2 is looking down also. So that need to change. So obviously this is 2. I want to change it to 1. So okay, before okay. So let me switch back these 2. This to go here and this to go here. Okay, so if I switch back to 1. Okay, so 1, so I'm looking at Ian now. Okay, and 2, I suppose to. Let me see. So it's 3. 3.
The green on the clue. 3 and 4.
3 are supposed to be looking at his face, and I just okay, so 3.
No, 3.
Yeah. Alright, so 3 looking at, still looking, yeah, 3 looking at that stand. Okay. So 4 now. 4.
Do you want to own prime real estate in Guyana? Welcome to Mahaika Meadows Real Estate Launch in New York and Orlando with limited seats. Register online at mahaikameadows.com and take advantage of incentive pricing. October 25th in New York City and November 8th in Orlando, Florida. Mahaika Meadows, gated and non-gated homes in Guyana. Space is very limited, so register at mahaikameadows.com or call 289-684-2810. For one day only, receive special discounted prices. Register online.
Mahaika Meadows, elevate your lifestyle.
So while we're just about to get started, the score is 84. They were all out for 84 in 19.3 overs. So while we're just about to get started, Florida Atlantis, who had won the toss, and bat first, had made 84. They were all out for 84. So the second inning is now about to start. On the first ball, wow, that was a good ball. We're still waiting on the scorer to update the scorecard. Okay, so pretty much got everything to Well, the score is now 13, as they would say in the Caribbean, the dreaded 13. 13 for no loss. The score is now 13. That one, wow, that one was caressed, and it will run away to the fence for 4. He won't catch it. He chased it, and all he did was just chased it so he can retrieve and send it back in play. Score moves on to 17 for no loss. At the end of the third over, the score is 17 for no loss. Atlanta Ace. TJ is a 9. Sadat is an 8. What a beautiful day here for cricket. I must thank Ian Thomas stopping by with some commentary. Paul Mowat is here along with yours truly. I must say a big hello to Mr. Maitland. Part of the crew, unable to be here today. Got some other duties to take care of. East side of the stadium, doing some umpiring. And it's Nathan coming from the Nathan was hit overhead, and there's a fielder coming across, and no, he just overrun it, and it will run in the fence. Yes, now it's running the fence for 4. That was a big boo-boo there. It comes across from long on, but just overrun it just a little. Got a onto it, but we're unable to hold on to it. The score moves to 21 for no loss. Sadat moves on to 12. We're in the 4th over. And again, that one was hit back past the bowler. Again, down the fielder at long on. Send the throw back into the bowler, Nathan. Score moves up by 1. That was a good shot out the pads. Again, down to the fielder at long on. Send the throw back into the bowler. I hope that that long on fielder is very fit, because all the balls are going in his direction. That one just go to mid-wicket. There's a fielder comes out halfway from the boundary and do the fielding. They also cross for a single. 24 for no loss. Atlantic Ace, they are chasing 85 made by Florida Atlantis. So with 5 ball already out the over, it's 8 runs. Again, that one plays in the covers, and another single as he runs in. And that one was plays over covers. It could go all the way. There's a fielder chasing. And he picks it up very close in the, it seems like it is 4. He beats him in the fence. And it could be the first wicket. Yes. Oh, he puts it down. I don't believe that, but yes, it happens. It was a dolly. He could have closed his eyes and accept that catch. He fumbled a little, and he still can't believe that he floored that ball. But yes, he did. And they cross for a single. And you know, usually a ball after that always go for 4. And now he dives forward and accepts the catch. It was a good catch. So TJ is out for 11. 11 from 11. 31 for 1. Atlantic Ace. The score is 31 for 1, Atlantic Ace. That was a good catch there. And I'm sure that fielder before that dropped that catch before, I know he's pretty much relief. Even though that's not the batsman who he had dropped, so he's still there hoping to make some good runs. The new batter is Schmidt. 31 for 1, Atlantic Ace. They are chasing 84 made by Florida Atlantis. While they're in the 5th over. And it will be Ethan to continue. This is his 5th ball of his over. Down the leg, umpire signals are wide, so put the score up by 1. That one was just gently played out in the backward point area. Fielded, no run. 32 for 1. Atlanta Ace. That's a good shot down to long on. The fielder comes around, they get one, they're coming back for the second, they got to make it fast, and yes, they make it. It seemed it would be in trouble if it had hit the stumps, but it did not. So they made home safe, and they get 2 from the last ball, so the score moves to 34 for 1, Atlanta Ace. Chasing 84 made by Florida Atlantis.
Ruhan. New bowler, Ruhan, shirt number 6. Roger that.
So the new bowler, Ruan, bowling from the north, 35 for 1. That's a lot of flight there. That was hit down to mid wicket. They crossed for a comfortable single. That one was hit over head, and there's a fielder there, but unable to come up with it. It was hit over his head. They crossed for 2, down to long off. While they're still in the power play, they're gonna make a change. It is supposed to be, they got two fielders who is out. You got the long on and the deep mid wicket. It was a good ball, well flighted. Bowling back of the arm. 38 for 1. Atlanta ace. They're chasing 84 made by Florida Atlantis. It's another flighted ball. It plays in the covers and they go through for a quick single. That's a good ball. That one was well flighted, but the batsman just stand on his ground and try to place it without any foot movement.
Power play over. Roger.
So at the end of the 6th over, the score is 39 for 1. Smith is in 3 and Sadat is in 24.
Roger.
And it will be Ethan to continue from the southern end. Ball into Siddharth. That one plays on the onside. They get 1. They're thinking about a second, but now they go against it because the fielder of the boundary comes in real fast and the throw back to the bowler. The score moves up by 1 to 40 for 1. Atlanta Ace. That's 2 consecutive wides so far. 42, 42 for 1. That's a good shot. Plays square up the wicket, and it now runs in the fence for 4. Score moves up to 46 for 1. Atlanta Ace. They're chasing 84 made by Florida Atlantis. Schmidt is on 7. Siddharth is on 25. They're in the 7th over. Now they make some changes with the field. That one plays in the covers. It could beat the fielder, but they're chasing, and it beats both fielder in the fence for 4. That was a good shot there in the covers. There's 2 fielder on the boundary, but they were unable to stop it from rocket in the fence for 4. This score moves to 50 for 1. Schmidt is on 11 from 6. Siddharth is on 25 from 21. Ethan is the bowler. He's in his 2nd over for 19 runs with 1 wicket. That one, he just turns it down to a short 3rd man. Send the throw back in, but the fielder was home safe. Score moves up by 1. I think Ethan is trying to bowl a little too fast. Maybe holding the ball a little bit too tight. That one I'm dropped in the middle of the pitch. That's a better ball, but it also could be a wide yes signal by the umpire. That's umpire Charlie. And I think it's Mushed is now the square leg umpire. The score moves up by 1 to 52 for 1. Swing and a miss outside the half stump, and the keeper throws at the stumps. I guess the batter is batting out his crease, but he was in. This is a very long over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ball already. and it's still not over as yet. So at the end of the 7th over, which is a 10-ball over, the score is 54-1. That's 4. Oh, this is going to week. So it's consecutive 4 over covers. Well, the first one was on the ground. This one is he played it over the cover fielder. 1 bounce in the fence for 4. Consecutive 4 by Siddharth. He moves on to 34 from 35 balls. The score is 62-1. They're in the 8th over. That one plays in the covers, fielded, no run. There he goes again, aerial over covers. But this time, it went all the way for 6. That was a good shot. That was an in-out shot, and he just punched it. Went all the way for 6. And the score rushed to 68-1. 17 runs needed in 12.2 overs, with 9 wickets remaining. And that again was hit down too long off, but there's a fielder there, and they'll just get a single this time. It's a very expensive over so far, 5 balls, and they got 15 runs. The score moves to 69-1, Atlanta Ace. That was a better ball. Pretty much on the midden leg. Was flighted, but batsman just plays it very comfortable. So at the end of the 8th over, the score is 69-1, Atlanta Ace.
baller Manvik, shirt number 4. Manvik. Roger that.
Magnifique. So it's a new bowler from the southern end. 69 for 1, Atlanta Ace. Sadat is on 41. Urshmid is on 12. That one plays in the covers. There's a fielder on the boundary, and they'll just get a single. Score moves up by 1 to 70. So it's now 15 more runs. That one was played square of the wicket. There's a fielder on the boundary as he comes around and field, and they're scampering back for the second. Now I'm looking at this bowler, and he reminds me of the Pakistani bowler who is creating havoc around the world at the moment. Take a good look. And these are some of the reasons why the adult must always be careful of what they're doing, because the youths are copying every minute and every word and every action. But while he's doing that, they're putting some sticks in him, because his action is just like that Pakistani bowler, but he's bowling much slower. He comes and he stops and he sidearms and he do everything exactly. You would think it's the same bowler. See, every ball was hit. Well, luckily for the bowler, I mean, they're just getting a single. The score moves to 79 for 1 and make it now 80 for 1. Atlanta Ace. Sadat just need one more for his 50. And that should go. That should go. No. It falls short, but they cross for 2. And it's the end of the over. And I think Siddharth will be very happy that it's the end of the over, because we need just about 3 more runs. And he need 1 for his 50. So for sure he will be happy that it's the end of the over. And whatever it takes for him to get that single, I know he's going to get it in this over. He just hope that they don't bowl wide and it goes for 4.
Shirt number 10.
And it will be a new bowler. Manvik ready. $82 for 1. And Sadiq searching for his 50. We got 3 more runs for victory for Atlanta Ace. But Siddharth is searching for his 50. He just need one. He's on 49. And there it goes. That's his 50. They get one. They come back for the second. And that's his 50. Hold that bat up. Siddharth. His score is tie at the moment. 84-41. This is a convincing win by Atlanta Ace. And that will be the end of the game. They signal a no ball and a 4, so it don't need to even bowl another ball. So it's 4 runs over cover. 88-1, very convincing win by Atlanta Ace. And Siddharth ends up on 55 from 35. A well played 55, not out. As they will be taking a break. Another game will be starting maybe in the next half an hour. So again, this is the USA National Youth Championship Under 16. Presented to you by MAQ TV, Mac TV. Florida Atlantis, who had made 84 for 10 in 19.3 overs.
Do you want to own prime real estate in Guyana? Welcome to Mahaika Meadows Real Estate Launch in New York and Orlando with limited seats. Register online at mahaikameadows.com and take advantage of incentive pricing. October 25th in New York City and November 8th in Orlando, Florida. Mahaika Meadows, gated and non-gated homes in Guyana. Space is very limited, so register at mahaikameadows.com or call 289-684-2810. For one day only, receive special discounted prices. Register online.
Mahaika Meadows, elevate your lifestyle.
Said it was mushed, but it's not.